Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Let's see if I can get the fire just right. It's after 1 o'clock in the morning. It's really quiet out. There's no traffic over on the parkway. Don't hear any planes going overhead or helicopters. Hear the water in the background. Oh no, there goes a car. There goes one. It's quiet now. We had the Dallas Cowboys game against the Minnesota Vikings. And the Cowboys found a way to win. And you have to start looking and saying that the Dallas Cowboys are truly a team. So before I go to bed, I want to make sure that I do my game balls. Game balls. It's crazy because I recorded a video on the way back home because it bothers me how ye have little faith. Abe Shepard, I don't mean to put you on blast, but Abe, every single week, you find so much negativity and so many reasons why the Cowboys won't win. And one of the people that you've had the most venom for is Anthony Brown. I don't know if you guys realize this or not. Pro Football Focus had I think it was Friday, a ranking of man-to-man coverage percentage. In that, Anthony Brown graded out at like 91% in comparison to Marshawn Lattimore, who graded out like 80-something. And you looked at him tonight, Anthony Brown actually played a really good game. Anthony Brown made some great hits and some great tackles and did pretty good with the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to give actually Anthony Brown a game ball on the defense. Micah Parsons, who had 11 tackles. Micah Parsons, who has become an absolute beast. Not only rushing the quarterback, but also playing linebacker. And when I watched Micah Parsons reminds me of Demario Davis. Demario Davis, when he became a free agent from the Jets, was a guy I said, that's the kind of linebacker that you want. Because you saw the patience that Micah Parsons had on running play to wait until the running back committed to the hole that he was going. You could see him working himself to the line. He's breaking down. He's got his feet moving where he can go anywhere where he goes. And once that running back made that commitment, boom, he's there. And not only that, as I watch his technique, last year I saw some of the worst tackling that I've ever seen in my life. And I understand that a lot of this is because, well, let's face it, the NFL doesn't practice really anymore. There's only like 16 padded practices in training camp. And then there's only 11 during the year. So you're not getting enough time to actually practice things like tackling, and you can't tackle guys to the ground. The way we were taught to tackle actually was better for the brain. Because what you try to do is you try and get your head across their body. If a guy is running and he's running right here and I'm trying to tackle him, I'm trying to get my head across his body and I'm trying to get his trunk right here in my shoulder pads and wrap up. Or if I'm running at him straight up, I'm trying to hit him in the chest and drive my body through, arch my back, and push him back. It's form tackling. But too many times last year, what we would see is you see guys lower the head and they just try and hit somebody, and the guy would bounce off and go all the way through. But when I see Micah Parsons tackle guys, he gets that technique. And instead of getting carried like Jalen Smith would 4 or 5 yards downfield where the guy would get the first down, they get hit and they go backwards. And it's not just Micah Parsons who always gets a game ball. Micah, you definitely get a game ball. But I saw Jordan Lewis, and I've seen Diggs, mind you, who sprained his ankle, just letting you know. I see these guys understanding how to tackle. So yes, they may give up, a 10 or 15 yard play, but they don't let it go to the house like we saw last year because of poor technique. For that reason, I have to actually give a game ball here to Dan Quinn and the coaching staff for teaching these guys how to tackle. Randy Gregory, who got his 5th sack tonight. As I'm watching that drive that Minnesota went down the field, and they kept getting personal fouls after personal fouls. 2 on Randy Gregory for hitting late, unnecessary roughness and things. It felt like a deja vu moment. I felt like I was watching Remember the Titans. If you remember, on the first, it was 3rd down. It's 3rd down. I don't know. I can't remember if it was Dorrance Armstrong. I can't remember who it was, but the first unnecessary roughness call where they hit the quarterback. Oh, Basham. Basham got the unnecessary roughness call on 3rd down, giving them the first down. And I remember Randy Gregory on the sidelines like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? That's unnecessary roughness? And I felt like a deja vu moment of watching Remember the Titans in the championship game where the officials were like, oh, okay, basically, yeah, you want to go ahead and argue? We're going to give you a couple more calls. Because I'm watching, from that moment on, it seems like the officials had a personal vendetta against Randy Gregory. And Randy Gregory, I'm sorry, they were some questionable calls. The Cowboys were not only facing the Minnesota Vikings, again, for the 2nd game in a row, they were also facing the officials who called, I think, 11 or 12 calls against them and did not see the same like calls against the Minnesota Vikings. But it felt like I was watching Remember the Titans where they were just throwing flags, bullshit flags, because that's what it felt like. But Randy Gregory, after Mike McCarthy went over to him and was like, calm the F down, was like a raging bull who still was relentless in putting on pressure forward on that. That defense, if we had had that defense or this defense that we have right now, last year, even without Dak Prescott, we've been a playoff team. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If we've had this defense in the years that we had Tony Romo, we might have gone pretty far in the playoffs. That's no exaggeration. That's a fact. That defense is playing balls to the wall. They didn't get the takeaways this week, but that defense held Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook to, I believe, about 250 yards. That, my friends, is an outstanding performance, especially on the road. So the defense gets a game ball. On a night that you lose Tyron Smith, you don't have Dak Prescott. The running game is not working like you want. Cowboys rushing, I think we may have rushed 100 yards, maybe. To have Cooper Rush, who, a lot of you guys The Dallas Cowboys, they don't care about winning. We need a backup quarterback. They should go ahead and get Cam. We should have kept Andy Dalton and trade for Nick Foles. Well, apparently the Cowboys seem to know a lot more than you do. I've been saying all along that, as everybody keeps saying, we need to go sign somebody. We tried that in the past with Matt Castle. We brought him in the middle of the season, and it was a complete disaster. Instead of trying to bring in somebody cold who might be a little more experienced than Cooper Rush, you have to understand there's a playbook probably about this thick. When Kellen Moore goes out here, he's going to call out a play, blue right 15, Ike 25, sirloin steak 15, eye right. And each one of those things in there is an assignment for the blocking, so that way the offensive linemen know where to block or how to block, how they're setting the protection. For the tight end to know what his route is, for the running back to know where he's supposed to line up, and everybody where to line up. For the receivers to know what routes that they're supposed to go, and so on. To bring somebody in now who doesn't know your terminology or your playbook and say, go ahead and start. It's like trying to have somebody speak Spanish who's never spoke Spanish before. You drop them into Mexico and say, here you go. Talk. Doesn't work. They don't speak the language. And that's the problem of just bringing in somebody cold. Cooper Rush at least speaks the language. He knows the receivers and the tendencies and knows how to communicate with the coaches. Thus, he has an advantage over somebody who may have a better set of skills. And tonight, for him to throw for 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 340 yards, Cooper Rush is getting a game ball. Shout out to Cooper Rush on his first start. And to think, that this is where it's crazy, to think that his first start is on the road, a road game, on Sunday Night Football when everybody's watching. Guys, it doesn't get any tougher than that. The whole world is watching. Shout out to him. And shout out to Cooper Rush, to Amari Cooper, because Amari Cooper, he had some clutch catches. Oh my God, Amari Cooper. That catch where the ball literally hit the defensive back and bounced up. To have the wherewithal to catch and concentrate on keeping that football, unbelievable. Amari Cooper, gets a game ball. And finally, I have to give one to CeeDee Lamb. Although he had a drop or two in there that were crucial, CeeDee Lamb is still becoming an incredible wide receiver that is clutch. He helps to keep moving the chains and makes catch after catch. And he is so good that he burns the competition and literally has so much separation. And when you have a quarterback playing for the first time, you want to make it as easy as possible by having as much separation as you can so he can really see you and doesn't have to throw into that tight window. So shout out to CeeDee Lamb. And that's where I am right now with game balls for week number 8. The Dallas Cowboys go to 6-1. Only one of 4 teams with only 1 loss. This weekend was actually very big for us Cowboys. Tampa Bay losing a game. Tampa Bay still owns the tiebreaker with us. But now Tampa Bay has 2 losses. We only have 1. Also, the Cardinals losing a game. We play the Cardinals. We beat the Cardinals. We're ahead of them, provided tie score. And then we have the Rams and the Green Bay Packers having to play each other, which means one of them will have at least one more loss. And also the Rams have to play in Arizona as well. So if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, this weekend couldn't have gone much better. Washington lost, although the Eagles did win, and Lord knows their trolls were hanging out. Oh, God, they were hanging out. For the first half of the game when they thought the Cowboys were going to lose. Funny. Didn't see much of them the second half. All right, good people. I am going to go to bed with a smile on my face, and God willing, I'll wake up tomorrow morning, and I'll be here talking to you more about the Dallas Cowboys and where we go from here. See you soon. Hope you enjoyed the day, and how about them Cowboys?